All right, then, let's go back to the phone. Our guest this morning is Pastor Tim Anderson from Southside Church of Christ. Good morning, on air.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dennis C. Latham. I want to say this here, that if we are to love our neighbors and we are to love our enemies, Ezekiel 3:18 tells us that we are to warn the wicked of their wicked ways to save their life. If they receive that, they are saved. If not, they go on their way. But if we don't warn them and they die in their own iniquities, their blood will be on our hands. The same thing with Ezekiel 33:6. If we don't sound the trumpet of the sword coming, then those who die, they die in their own iniquities. But the watchmen, their blood will be on his hands. So the problem is what you all discussed this morning, and I see a lot of sugarcoating and watering down. We are not in a method of warning people of their evils. Kevin said this morning, a lot of people throw out, let him without sin cast the first stone. When you warn a person of their wickedness, that's not casting a stone.
Well,
am I right, Tim Anderson? Yes or no?
Well, I'm not watering down anything because that's exactly what I said.
Am I right? Am I right? Yes or no, Tim Anderson?
I said that you need to repeat God. That's what we need, and that's the way we.
Right with what I stated.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing I said.
Okay, now I'm going to say this here: it is impossible for a person to be a Christian if they force other males to mate with other females who they are not married to. And it is not possible to be a Christian to do things of that nature and to turn around and separate families to make a profit, to sell, or out of despite. It is impossible for that person to be a Christian at that time.
Well, see, Dennis, that's where we have a theological difference because I don't.
It's not a theological difference. Well, that is a fact.
He's telling me.
You're trying to sugarcoat it and water it down because you want to please man and not God.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
The issue is that when a person becomes a Christian, when they sin, that doesn't make them no longer a Christian. It means that they're a Christian who has sinned. And so what God is trying to do is bring that person back into holiness by reflecting what God has already stated. So you don't become a non-Christian because you make a mistake. If that's the case, none of us are Christians. Because Romans 3:23 says we all sin. Now, I think those are two different kind of conversations. What is grace? What is repentance? And what is Christianity? See, and Dennis kind of intertwines all of it and says that when you're not a Christian, if you do this, then none of us are.
Because that were the case. Moses, David, some of the greatest people, Saul, which Paul.
If David was living today and did what he did in the Bible, we would have David's head.
Yeah. We'll be back. Our guest this morning is Pastor Tim Anderson from the Southside Church of Christ. Got to take my last break and I will come back.